Hi everyone, welcome to the Icehouse podcast. Today we have Kirsty Naish with us. She has just done our Taking Your Business Forward program and owns a business, Sidekick Ashburton. So really excited to be chatting to Kirsty today about her journey as a business owner, what's got her to the point that she's at now and her experience in our program. So thanks heaps, Kirsty, for being on the podcast today.
Thanks, Bryar. It's good. It's looking forward to it.
Cool. Looking forward to it too. Well, I'd like to start with some fun, quick fire questions just to get to know you. So first things first, what is your ideal holiday?
Oh, see, that's a tough question. I'm a pretty avid traveller and consider myself pretty well travelled. I spent most of my 20s backpacking through Europe, Asia, and North and Central America. So
Wow.
I think an ideal holiday for me would involve mountains, so some sort of hiking, and then sort of followed by like a full immersion with locals, like a homestay, local food, culture, music. Yeah. I'd like to say the beach, but I probably get too bored.
Yeah. Sounds like bliss. Awesome. When are you most relaxed?
Probably when I'm hiking, when I'm in nature. Yeah.
Cool. Love it. Do you have a book or a podcast that you recommend people read or listen?
Yeah, actually, I love podcasts. It's something I got into in my mid-20s, and one that changed my mindset on life was The Minimalists. And I've got a book, Love People and Use Things. So yeah, I always recommend that to people. It's pretty powerful. They also have a documentary. And then for anyone in their 20s, there's a really cool podcast Megan Tan's done called Millennials, and it's just really easy, like relatable content about navigating becoming an adult. So it's pretty cool.
That's so
but
awesome.
I probably should read a few more books, but yeah, podcasts are great.
Awesome. So cool. Yeah, podcast is the most popular pick out of the two through these podcasts that I'm doing right now. So that's for sure. First ever job?
A milk run, actually, believe it or not. Might show my age a little bit, but it probably was the last few years that the milk run existed. So it was a 3:30 start after school. I think I was year 8 at intermediate, and then we'd drop the milk bottles off and collect the empties.
Wow. Oh my gosh, good on you. I love that answer. And a morning or night person?
Nobody will believe this, but I'm actually a morning person, and that's changed dramatically since I had my daughter. I have no choice.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you've got no choice now. That's so good. Awesome. I feel like we've got our brains going, which is good. I feel like I know you better already. And then I love sort of diving into this question with our guests, which is tell us just a bit about yourself. Who's Kirsty? What does your career, your business journey look like?
So after leaving high school, I didn't really know what to do, and I got offered a full-time job at a local accounting firm and to study by correspondence. So I sort of took that opportunity, which was actually a long, hard slog. My friends were having a great old time in university, and I was working full-time and studying part-time. But once I did that, I actually ventured off to the UK to do my OE, and then I went to Canada for a few years, and then I ended up working in Samoa for 3 years as a financial controller. So it turned out actually a really cool experience. I did my work experience quite early, quite young, qualified early, and then I got to spend most of my 20s traveling and still working towards my career. And then after 3 years in Samoa, it felt like I was ready to come home to Ashburton. Time was right to sort of take that next step. So yeah, that's a bit about my sort of business and career journey. So I've been 3 years in business now.
Wow, that's amazing. So cool that you've been able to travel and work, and like you said, not just travel and put your career on hold, but travel and advance your career. I think that's really unique but great opportunity. So
yeah,
cool.
I feel like a lot of people don't do that. They sort of head off overseas on their OE and they put their career on hold, but you don't actually need to. You can have both, particularly in the market today. In the UK, Canada, you can contract doing your skill set, and then so a contract could be 3 or 6 months and then go away backpacking for 3 months. You can kind of live both worlds.
Yeah.
And that career experience is pretty valuable.
Yeah, and then you come back to New Zealand and you've got overseas experience, which is really great. It sounds like a win-win. So
yeah,
that's
totally.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. So yeah, explain your business, Sidekick Ashburton. What do you do?
So we're an accounting and advisory business firm. So we help any existing or new businesses with planning, budgeting, any support, and then obviously all things finance and tax. So we take care of their tax returns, their financial statements, but we kind of see that as our bread and butter. That's what we have to do, and we really sort of pride ourselves on advisory and helping coach them and support them through like their business journey.
Yeah, awesome. That's really, really great. Cool. Ashburton has a lot of great businesses, a lot of great entrepreneurs and business owners. It's a really cool little hub down there, which is a great spot.
It's actually I'm fortunate I'm from here, but it's such a thriving little town and full of very smart, hardworking people. And you're right, there's some amazing businesses here, and we're well supported with some incredible farmers. So it's a really good diverse. And I think I kind of wish we could promote that more with our younger population, because they often run away and think that there's not much here, but there is so much opportunity.
Yeah, that's actually such a good thought. How can we promote that better, that Ashburton is a really great, thriving place to be? I like that.
It'll be a tough one, but I don't know how to do it, but we need to do something about it. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, it's interesting. So I would love to hear, what does a day in the life of you look like?
I'm probably a bit boring, to be honest. It's a 5:11 a.m. is a wake up call for the gym.
5:11.
Yeah, I don't like waking up on like 10s or 15s. So I wake up the latest possible time I can to roll out of bed and get changed to the gym.
Awesome.
I'm back around 6:30, and then it's kind of go. I'm getting my daughter ready for preschool, myself ready for work. So breakfast, lunches packed, etc. And then my partner drops Rosabelle off, and then I head off to work. But a normal work day would consist of 2 to 3 client meetings and then some office work. Lunch is normally on the run, which is terrible.
Yeah.
And then home around, say, 5:30 for the normal parents' rush, we call it. So, dinner, bath, book, bed.
Yeah.
Once my daughter's in bed, I try to sneak a cup of tea and a wee bit of half an hour time of just catching up and catch a breath. But I'm generally in bed by 9, so my weekdays are boring.
No, good on you. Good on you.
My weekends are very precious and a bit more exciting, so and unplanned, hopefully.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a good balance you've got there, which is special. Nice. Would love to hear, what's one thing that you wish you knew at the start of your career journey?
That I'm going to learn a lot, I'm going to grow a lot, and I'm going to fail a lot. And then I'm going to do that on repeat at a really rapid rate, and not to be afraid of that. I think I wasn't prepared for the personal growth and how fast it's been, particularly as a business owner. Failing a lot. I'm not talking big fails, but just fails to learn from. I wasn't really resilient and prepared for that. And now I see them as all great learns. So yeah, I wish I was a bit more aware of that at the start. And imposter syndrome is a real big thing, particularly being a female, I think, and professional service as well. Yeah.
If you don't mind, because that's something that a lot of people actually say is imposter syndrome held them back for so long. What does that bring up for you, imposter syndrome, and how has it been part of your journey? Have you overcome it in any ways?
I don't know if I'll ever overcome it, but I actually had this conversation with my partner a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about, I was on an institute meeting, and I was just saying to him how, sometimes it's damn hard to be a female in the professional services, and particularly in the region I'm in, there's not many. And then I was just saying how another female accountant was saying on this talk that she was one of the early adapters in the profession, and working mum and all that sort of thing, and she paved the way. And I said to my partner, that's so cool, she paved the way, but I feel like the way hasn't even, it's still hard. But he was like, imagine how hard it was for her back then.
Yeah, wow.
So every groundwork that every generation makes is a step towards making it easier. But I think we're still not quite there. And sometimes I'll walk into a boardroom and I doubt my ability, but I definitely have a lot of ability. So it's just kind of like in your head, you just got to fight it a bit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I guess I touch on that point because you're so not alone in that. A lot of our business owners, male and female, but it is it's maybe a stronger streak in females, have that feeling of am I worthy enough to be in this room, essentially. And so many everyone is. So yeah, it's a really interesting point.
I think it's something we need to talk about a bit more. And yeah, I've probably been a bit biased being a female, but I have talked to male peers and they've all felt it too at various stages of their career. And a lot of them still do, even though I personally hold them in really high regard. There's all that sort of fake it till you make it, or, that bluff. But I've got a business mentor and he always says to me, you don't have to know everything. And it's okay to admit that to a client or to someone as well. I'll get back to you on that one. You just can't know everything.
Yeah, powerful. Yeah, for sure. No, it's good. It's a good conversation to have within the podcast, that's for sure. Would love to hear, what is a common myth about your industry that you'd like to debunk? I feel like there'd be one or two in what you do.
Well, first of all, that's a great question. And second of all, we often get told, oh, you don't look like an accountant, or you don't behave like an accountant. So there's obviously a myth out there of what an accountant actually is, what they look like, what they sound like, what they do. So I think that's changing quite a bit. But one myth I'd like to debunk is a lot of people are quite intimidated by accountants and legal professionals. And they I don't know, they're just intimidated by our profession. And I just wish that myth would go away and people wouldn't feel like that. We're very approachable and we're here for more than what we probably let them know. We often say we can do, your tax and your finances, but we can do so much more than that if you just open up and ask, it's available.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a really great answer to that question. Highlight and challenge for you. What's been a highlight in the journey and a challenge?
I've got a couple of cool highlights, and I think employing my first staff member, or I don't like to use it staff member, but team member. That was really exciting, such a cool step. And then finding office space, they're all just steps in your journey. So they were absolute highlights for me. And then
very cool.
Acquiring more shareholding was a major highlight, but it was also my biggest challenge. It was just learning how to develop negotiation skills, but ensuring relationships are kept really strong. So that was a great win-learn, I think, that one.
Yeah, big balancing act, that one, that's for sure. But if you can nail that down, then you're well.
You're a bit more invincible.
Yeah, exactly that. You articulated that well. Awesome. I'd love to hear, how you heard about the Icehouse to start with, and the Taking Your Business Forward program.
So I've heard of the Icehouse a few times, various business owners here. So there's Trycroft, there was a business here, the New Zealand Sock Company. So there's some really successful businesses locally that I knew had done the program. And I always kind of wanted to do it because I had heard such great things about it. And then I won a scholarship a couple of years ago, which I couldn't use on an Outward Bound course because of COVID. But I really wanted to do some personal development. And then I thought I might just look into the Icehouse and see what's available. But when they were advertising a scholarship with Xero last year, and I nominated one of my clients for it, and she won it. Cool. And so she did Taking Your Business Forward program last year. So I rang her and asked how she found it, and she was just a massive advocate and said, go for it. So that's basically why I signed up.
Oh, that's so cool to hear. From my perspective, I don't always hear those little connections through the community of how people went, got on the phone and went, how did you actually find that? So really cool to hear that.
And what was really cool about it was, she went on the course last year, so we nominated her. She won the scholarship. She did it, and then her and I had a conversation about a month after it, and then the subsequent months following, I've seen so much change in her skill set. So, you know, it's been awesome to see that implemented in her business.
That's brilliant, and a good segue into the next question for me is, you know, what did you get out of the program? Is there anything that you implemented into your business, you know, directly from the program itself?
Yeah, actually, the program I've found it really beneficial. I love sharing with other business owners, you know, your wins and your learns, your experiences. One of the sessions I found really valuable was the strategy session, which I'd done before, so it wasn't new to me, but it was reinforcing it again, because quite often you do things like that, and then it sits in a book and on a bookshelf and laid to rest.
Yeah.
So that really prompted me to revisit that and then start sort of living and breathing my strategy and getting my team's buy-in and helping them understand it and, you know, be a part of it. So we now implement a strategy discussion every Monday morning meeting. So just about one of our values, you know, just understand what it means, who's living into that value, what's an example of them living into it. And then another one of the sessions that I've found really, really valuable was wellness, resilience, sort of like me and my business. Just being a working mum and being busy and life's busy anyway, irrelevant if you have children. That one helped me sit back and structure my life a bit better. So writing that plan on how my day should go, planning meal planning for the week at home, so life's not too stressful. Working in quadrants, you know, stop working in the important and urgent quadrant and start working in the, you know, important but not urgent. So I'm not always working at high stress. So that's been real valuable for me. Yeah.
Such great practical things that people could listen to and actually pick up on themselves, which is cool. Nice. I love that. Any reasons why you chose an online program, and were there any benefits for you?
I think this program is so good for busy business owners. Being online, that's just so helpful, that travel time and things. So that's a huge benefit. I think if I was to do any further courses, though, I'd definitely like to do the one in person, because there's just nothing like human contact. And after a couple of years of not having it, I'm pretty keen for it. But it's I love that the Icehouse offer an online program now. So you've got the mixture of both.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, it because you take out that travel, it means that people from Ashburton, Waikato, you know, Tauranga can do a program together, you know, from their hometown. It's really a game changer, because it just means it's more accessible, I guess, to more people.
Like, just like talking to you now, I'm working from home today. You know, it's that flexibility is just great.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love to hear that. That's nice. What is one thing you are committed to doing in future to support your business and your personal growth?
I have an external mentor, and
That's
I
great.
had one in the past. I've had him for a while, so that's something that I've done and will continue to do, which is all about my business growth and personal growth. So we do that. We have personal development plans with my team members. So this is like someone doing that for me. So that's something I'll definitely commit to moving forward. Yeah.
It's so good, just having someone external that you can bounce ideas around. As a business owner, you've got so much going on in your head, talking to me, myself and I, you know, and it's like, oh, I actually just need to flesh this out with someone that's outside and has sort of a bird's eye view approach.
Which so rational, you know, like they often take those thoughts that get compounding in your head and get blown out, especially with imposter syndrome, you know. Some of those thoughts just compound and just eat you alive. And then when you actually, you know, verbally have that conversation with someone external, they're like, actually, that's not it. You're blowing it out of proportion, or you're reading it wrong, or just handle it like this maybe. And it's so refreshing.
Yeah, so refreshing. I love that. That's cool. Sort of nearing the end of the chat, and it's been cool. We've dived into quite a few things, which is nice. What does the future look like for Sidekick Ashburton?
I think the future looks like for us. So we have some big goals. We're continuing to grow. We're still in that really early growth stage. But it looks like probably 3 to 4 more team members in our team. And hopefully we can get our hands on a nice premise and sort of change the way the accounting industry is. And we really want to open up that space to have a space at the front of our building where our clients can come and use it as a hotspot, where they can do their bookkeeping. We're out the back working, but if they need something, we're available.
Right.
That's something we really want to bring to Ashburton. Just like a real safe haven, like nearly an incubator hub for even like people coming up with ideas, and then, they've got an accountant or a lawyer around to like sort of throw that idea around and see what they think of it. Yeah.
I love that idea. That's so cool.
Find a building.
Yeah. But yeah, that's really cool. I like that. I think it would be so valuable to business owners as well. That's a great idea.
I think like young people coming out of school, and they don't know what they want to do, but they got a really cool idea and they just need a bit of support. I just want a really safe place for them to come and share that.
That could be a real cool key way. Like what we were talking about at the start of engaging younger people in Ashburton, and, real cool way to sort of go, hey, here's a space where it's a safe place for you to throw around some ideas that you have to see if they're viable before leaving the city, or, it's cool.
Giving it a go, because really, I always ask myself a question. And if I was 18 or 19 again and I had an idea, I'd ask this question over and over, and what's the worst that can happen? And it's generally not that bad.
So true. Yeah.
If you've got an idea, give it a go.
Yeah. Give it a go. It's great. Great advice. I love that. Who's one person, and finishing on this question, who's one person who has been influential in your journey?
Yeah, that's my mentor, my current mentor. So Trevor Croy. So he employed me straight from high school. He took a punt, gave me an opportunity, let me work full-time and help fund half of my degree. So I did like an apprenticeship program basically, which is unheard of for accountants. And we maintained a friendship outside of work when he retired, right through my decade overseas. And he's just been absolutely influential. He's such a sounding board. He's obviously he was in the profession, so that helps, he understands my industry, but just as a general person, he's just such a good person, and someone to, if I could, be half the person he is, I'd be very happy. He's a great community man. He was an excellent accountant, but he's just a great person.
That's so cool. I love hearing the person that, and there's many people in someone's business journey, but someone that stands out that's really influenced the journey. It takes someone special to take the time to believe in someone young out of high school and then go, I'm taking you under my wing, and then look at you now.
Yeah, and to give their time up to you is so huge. And I think one thing about Trevor, I think from the outside, and he'll probably laugh if he heard this, but I think he's ticked all the boxes in life. He's a successful businessman, but he's a successful community man. He gives back. He's a great husband and father, a great friend. To get those all in line is difficult.
Yeah, so cool that you have someone like that to look up to and bounce ideas with on the journey. So that's really cool and inspiring that other people should, look at their network and their community and go, who's someone that I could set up a mentoring, relationship with to learn from them, which is cool.
Yeah, I think one thing I would say, if anyone young is listening, or it doesn't matter of age, but don't be afraid to ask someone. A lot of people are like, they wouldn't want to spend time with me, but I know that Trevor loves spending time with me as much as we both get a lot from the relationship. So
yeah, cool.
Don't be afraid. Yeah, it's fun.
Just ask. Yeah, what's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
That's it. That's so cool. Honestly, really, really amazing to hear your story, and I really liked how we touched on some really key topics there, and know that there'll be a lot in that conversation that people resonate with. So thank you so much for sharing your story about your journey and your business, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the future.
Hey, thanks for your time.